just to let you know. Right? We've got our Venn diagram, very simple one, 2 sets. People that like to play, like whatever, basketball, people that like soccer or football, as it should be called. Okay, so we'll go through, but as I said, what I want to do is I want to introduce the whole shading thing, okay? While I'm answering these questions, just getting used to shading a particular region. So, for instance, how many students like basketball or soccer? Now, this would be all of this region, and this region. So the whole thing, so it would be 10, 17, and 6. Those people like basketball or soccer. Okay? Remember the word "or" was for the union. Okay, so do you remember we talked, it would be basketball, union, soccer. Go on.
No.
Might as well ask it might help you.
Boss.
Boss. Okay. So the word "or," basketball or soccer, means you consider everything. I guess what you're probably thinking is, the 17 shouldn't be in there. Basketball or soccer, but the thing is, these people here like basketball or soccer. They just happen to like both.
Well, that's an "or." If they like this.
Well, it depends on the strength of your word "or." I would have to actually say how many students like basketball or soccer only. Remember, we use those extra words. Or only basketball or soccer, or basketball or soccer but not both. If I only use the word "or," we don't exclude that. Okay. Right. So the next one then is how many students do not like either basketball or soccer?
3.
3. So it's this one. They do not like either. So we've got 3 there. Okay. How many students do not like soccer? 13. The 10 and the 3. Okay. How many students only like soccer?
6.
Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you. How many students like both basketball and soccer?
17.
Right, I'm going to shade this one in. The both basketball and soccer, and we would be able to write that as basketball and soccer, and this one was called the intersection. So that would be an important one for us to remember. Okay, how many students like basketball in total?
27.
17 and 10, so 27, you're right. Okay. How many people like, was it only basketball?
Do not like basketball.
Do not like basketball.
9.
9, so do not like basketball, 6 and 3. Okay. How many only like basketball then? 10. How many students do not like both basketball and soccer? 3, 10, 6. They don't like both. They maybe like one or neither, but they don't like both.
No. So what's the answer? 19.
19. Okay, and how many students like soccer?
23.
23. Just to check, the answers 33, 3, 13, 6, 17, 26. 23. Okay? So, again, I'm going to shade so that you get used to seeing the shading, because it seems to help with understanding. Sorry, this thing struggles with distance. Okay, so the first question is, how many students like both rugby and soccer but not baseball? So what I do is I take it in stages. Both rugby and soccer. So what I do is I highlight both rugby and soccer. So this is it's not a very good colour, is it? both rugby and soccer. So that's that region, right? But we've got another piece of information that says, but not baseball. So that means we have to discount the 19. So the answer is 11. Right? So if I were shading, okay, I might do it like this. So I would say both rugby and soccer would be that and that, but not baseball means I remove. So that would be the region that I've shaded in. So when we've got no numbers, we can still shade a region, which is where you're getting to. Right? But the answer is 11. Right? The next one, how many students like rugby or soccer? So actually, it's all of rugby, so all those numbers, and all those numbers can be considered. So it should be 60, was it, rugby or soccer? 16, 4, 11, 19, 15, 7. Add all those up. Okay, I'll check that number afterwards. So how many students like rugby or soccer? All of those together.
But then you're gonna have to minus some because some of them have baseball.
That doesn't come into it. Right? That's, I guess, where you need to. If I don't mention baseball, yeah, I think that's it. If I don't mention baseball, don't consider baseball to even be there. All right? Ignore that circle completely unless I mention it.
Can you explain why you let me do it.
Why I did include those three? As I said, because if I consider rugby or soccer, I could almost forget that this circle even exists. So it'd be like if I said only rugby or soccer, I'm looking away of deleting it, but I haven't got a very good one. So I would just kind of forget that this actually even exists. Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have because
So it'd be like that. So if I just said how many people like rugby or soccer, I only consider those two circles. Now obviously it's harder for you because you've got that circle there, but actually now, because there's no lines, 15 and 7 could be written as 22, but by putting the circle back in, it is there,
It's not there.
but I don't consider it unless I say baseball. But because I've only said how many students like rugby or soccer, the whole baseball thing doesn't even come into it, so ignore it. Okay?
you have blonde hair, but you have earrings too.
Okay?
But you still have blonde hair. What was the next one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go through the answer. Are you happy with the region? You added them up fine, yeah? I'll go through the actual numbers afterwards. Or do you want me to do it now? Now. So 72. 72 should be the answer. For question 2. 72 was the answer. Okay, next one then. How many students like rugby or soccer, but not baseball? Now, here's the baseball thing is. So rugby or soccer, again, was this. All these regions.
So she's 15 now.
Okay, but not baseball means these ones that you said, why do I count? Now, we don't count them, so we get rid of them. So it's only 15, 11, and 16.
And that gives you 42. So I was correct.
2. Yeah? Everyone okay? Any questions? You alright with that? Got the right answer? 42. Okay. The next one. How many students like rugby or baseball or soccer? So it's basically anyone that likes rugby, anyone that likes baseball as well, okay, anyone that likes soccer. So it's basically everyone.
87.
So you think the answer is 87, I think the answer is 77.
Oh, not the 80.
Not the 10,
Oh yeah.
because they don't like any of them.
Wait, you guys are looking at it.
Okay,
I am doing
How many students only like soccer?
16.
16. That's a nice easy one. How many students like baseball and soccer?
4. 60.
Baseball and soccer, that's them and me. 23.
What?
Again, like before, baseball and soccer, we ignore the rugby circle even exists. Okay?
But 19 and 4 is not 23.
This might have to be us.
Okay.
Oh, I see them.
Okay.
You're right, I won't be
Come on.
We were 4.
Ladies, I'm finding it difficult. Okay, how many students do not like both baseball and soccer? Well, if this is baseball and soccer, it's everything else. So actually, we should 15, 7, 5, 11, 16, and 10. Did I? Okay. So that was how many students do not like baseball and soccer. So that's 8, number 8. So number 8.
64.
26.
I could have added that up. 6 is. I got 64. For 8, got 64. Well, you were bad at it. 26. 8 and 64.
Okay.
Rugby and baseball.
Let's have a look.
Which is 26. Do not like both rugby and basketball.
Okay, so number 9, how many students do not like both rugby and baseball?
7 and
So it's the same one again. So we first of all find both rugby and baseball, which would be 19 and 7, and then we have to consider everything else. So 15, 5, 4, 11, 16, and 10 again. So your answer is?
61.
The number 9.
What? 61.
61.
I got 26. Oh, I got 80.
Okay, and finally, 61. And finally, number 10, how many students like rugby or baseball?
27.
Rugby or baseball, so you should have 15, 7, 5, 19, 4, 11. That's not, you're right, it's not. So, the answer is?
I was close. You were. I was close. 8 was 64. What the frick?
This one. Now, you have done these, okay? We've seen these symbols before, alright? What does the little dash mean?
Everything but that.
Yeah, everything but that. I would say not in B, everything but in B, however you want to. The actual correct terminology for it is?
No, you're wrong.
Complement. It's an element in the complement. So, complements to B. Now, what I will say is, what they're asking you for in this question is to list the elements. So, look at that, it's just rubbish. I've got to have another go there. So, squiggly brackets. I'm going to shade again, just like I've said, I've told you why. When we do not be, we have to consider B first, okay? And then, if that's B, we have to consider everything that's not B. So that's 19. Okay. Now what we do now, I said to you before that these numbers, because there's more than one number in the circle, we don't add them up. We don't. They are not an amount of anything. They are just numbers. So we write them down. So 19, 12, 16,
15, and 13.
Now I got asked a question. Do they have to be written in order? The answer is no. As long as they're all listed, we don't. Okay. I want to go through this whole one with you, so you can then do the remaining, because it's the same idea but with letters instead. Now this is the one I said probably it's not going to be used for your IGCSE, but it helps with developing your understanding. So B minus A. Now the deal here is that we have to first consider B. So we have all the numbers in B. Okay, so I'm just shading all that region. I'm just doing the numbers instead of the whole region. But then what we do is we subtract from those elements any that are in A. So if I just press my back button, I've got to not consider 11, and I'm not going to consider 3. So I've subtracted the 2 from the pink that are in A. So I'm left with only 10, 17, and 1.
Hey, what?
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, I'll repeat that. So, B. So I'm going to first off highlight everything that's in B. Okay, because it's slightly differently this time. I'm then going to identify anything that's in A, but only out of the ones I've already identified. So 11 is in A and 3 is in A. So I've got to subtract anything that's also in A. So those two get forgotten, so I only write down what's left. Okay? Okay? Now, this one's obviously nice and easy. We just write down anything that's in B. So yeah,
10,
got it.
17, 1, 11, and 3.
Okay. Now this one, we've got to consider first the A intersection B, which is what?
A and B.
So A intersection B is A and B, so that's this number and this number.
But it's not.
But then, yeah, anything, what we've actually then got is the whole not thing here. This symbol means not. Be very careful in an exam that you don't miss that symbol. So then we've got anything that's not those two. So we've got all of these numbers, including the ones not in the circles, need to be considered.
I got it.
Get it?
That's good.
Okay. So 19, 12, 16, 15, 13, 1, 17, and 10. Okay? Right. I will leave you then. Similar ideas, they start extending a little bit, but for the next two, see whether you can have a go at those. Okay?
Wait for this one.